All right, so this story is about the time I, a 32-year-old man, was hired to be a bodyguard for a well-known celebrity. Let's call him Jake, a 28-year-old man, a huge pop star at the time. He was going on tour and I was brought in for his safety. At first it seemed pretty straightforward. Watch his back, make sure no one gets too close, and avoid any fans getting too crazy. But here's the thing. Jake wasn't just famous. He was a target. He had crazy stalkers, threats from obsessed fans, and even some weird rumors floating around. But honestly, he wasn't the easiest guy to work with. He'd constantly try to slip away from the security team, thinking he could just have some quiet time without anyone noticing. One night after a concert, we were supposed to head back to the hotel. I'm checking the usual security feeds when I notice Jake isn't in the van. My heart drops. I'm looking around, calling his phone. Nothing. I burst into panic mode and immediately tell the crew to lock down the area. We're in a crowded city and he's supposed to be under our watch. As we search, I finally get a tip from one of the hotel staff. Jake was seen sneaking out the back door. I dash to the back thinking he's just being an idiot. But then, I see him walking into a dark alley by himself. I follow him, trying to be discreet, but suddenly a van pulls up right next to him. Before I can react, I see two guys grab him. They're pulling him into the van, and for a second I freeze. This is it. I'm losing my client. I've failed. But then, in a split second, my training kicks in. I rush toward them, and the first guy barely sees me before I tackle him to the ground. The second guy tries to make a run for it, but I grab Jake and pull him into a secure spot behind a dumpster. Jake is freaking out at this point, and I'm not even sure if he's more scared of the attackers or the fact that I just saved his ass. I tell him to stay low while I radio for backup. The attackers get away, but the police show up a few minutes later. We later find out that they weren't fans. They were hired mercenaries sent by an anonymous source, likely someone from his past. They'd been tracking him for weeks. The weirdest part? Jake barely said thank you. He looked at me wide-eyed and said, "I should have listened to you. I'm sorry." A few days later, he called me into his dressing room and handed me a bonus check. And not just any bonus. It was 10 times what I was getting paid for the tour. He looked me in the eye and said, "You saved my life tonight. You didn't just protect me, you protected my career, my future." I walked away from that job knowing one thing. Sometimes the real danger doesn't come from the fans. It comes from the people who are supposed to keep you safe.